this class. So welcome everybody. I'd love to introduce myself. I am not Rosetta Matthews. You'll see her name on the screen here because I just logged on quickly and forgot to change it again. But my name's Jackie Aiken, and I was just actually telling Tanya that I was a massage therapist for about 25 years, and I'm a mindset coach now. And dealing with emotions is basically my gig. It's my jam now. It's all I do basically every day. And I used to be able to do that with my patients by, helping them physically kind of get through things. But what I have come to find is that emotions are stored in the body as heavily as anything. And a lot of times our pain actually comes from that. So I have a fun webinar on Friday night where I'm actually going through all the parts of the body and what we hold in them. So you guys can always hop on that. I'll share my Zoom link before the class is over, before you go.
Okay. Has that got to do with your own business or this?
Yeah,
business?
it's all about doing a meditation after and kind of clearing out that stuff that's in there. It's really neat.
Oh, I'm really interested in that.
Absolutely, it's a lot of fun. I'll make sure I'll make sure that I hook you guys up with the links.
Okay.
All right, so I am just going to go ahead and share my screen and get started on this awesome presentation that we have. So I don't know if you guys, can you see this all right? Yep. It's coming up. Perfect. All right, so let's dive on in, shall we? I may end up having to let a couple people in, so forgive my clumsiness with Zoom, but I will do my absolute best. So I know you guys know a lot about essential oils already. I'm going to go over them really quick though, just because there's some super cool things about essential oils. What they are derived from are, bark, seeds, roots, flowers, any other parts of the plants, the stems. And it's not only what gives a plant its smell, but it's also what is powerful in our oils. So they play roles in healing the plant, pollination, all sorts of things. They protect the plant, and they work the very same with our bodies. Now, doTERRA is unique in that I would not just put any essential oil on my body. I'll use them for maybe a toilet spray or something. But when it comes to actually putting something on my body or putting it in my body, I'm really strict about only using doTERRA oils. They are the only ones that do over 50 tests on all of their oils, every single one. They are the only company that has the integrity that I've never seen integrity like this in a company. The safety, what they do, where they get it from, everything about them is just absolutely on par with where the world should be going as far as businesses. They come from the heart, and they always are just a step ahead of us in their service. They always kind of know what we're going to need next, and every month is awesome. Like this month with the Deep Blue specials, it was like, oh yes, I've been having so many people calling me for massages because they were so sore lately. It's this, spring shift, the thaw, all this stuff wants to kind of move out of us, right? So why using essential oils to manage our moods? I'm going to go into it a little bit more right away, but essentially they're super safe. They are response like 30 seconds, immediately. You can imagine trying to take a medicine and it having to be a half an hour or even a month before it starts to work properly. This is instantaneous, and it's super simple. You can carry it with you. You can use it in diffusers. You can cook with it. There's just so many ways you can use them. It really couldn't be easier. And we always hear about aromatherapy. What that is actually using aromas for therapy. Cool, right? So the oil molecule will literally go into this olfactory nerve, right into the back of your nose. And that is going to go essentially right into your nervous system. So it actually goes through your whole olfactory system, which is going to go right into your brain. And basically in the way the brain responds, that amygdala, where all our emotions and all our sort of filters are in there, that is what is being affected directly from that olfactory nerve and that part of the nervous system. So we have memories stored in our brain, And it's amazing how a smell will trigger that, like going into someone's house and you remember going into someone else's house that smelled like that, or when you go to a certain place, you just kind of like, there's that certain smell. It doesn't have to be great even, but that smell will trigger a memory, right? Even if we're smelling a flavor, we know it's cherry, we know it's strawberry. Our olfactory nerve has set that in. It may smell slightly different to everybody. We don't really know because we can't tell, right? But it'll bring these feelings. They've actually done studies, and it will bring these feelings. It will actually trigger these parts of the brain. And there is certain, like, just so many studies now done on brain responses and essential oils, and brain responses and thought, and brain responses and breath, that we know we can affect our nervous system immediately by taking about 3 really big deep breaths, by having that oil in our hands while we're taking these 3 deep breaths. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely incredible. When we think of a good thought, even, it's a great time to go grab an essential oil, because what'll happen is you'll kind of set that in, right? So if you say have balance in your bath, or have a spray made out of balance, and it's usually when you just kind of want to feel grounded, you only have to use it a few times before your body is actually chemically getting ready for this oil, getting ready for this whole body experience. And it starts to support you in that. So it's not just using an oil, it's actually your body responding to it and almost telling you what it needs. So balance is going to kind of calm the nervous system a little bit. It's going to allow you to be able to be grounded during the day. It can be mixed with something like Serenity for even more sort of mood stabilities, which we'll go into next. But I like using this one to sort of keep me focused. It says to use while driving, to kind of keep you focused. I like using balance with a little bit of peppermint to sort of wake me up in the car, but to keep me focused, especially if it's kind of going to be a bit of a long day and we have to drive into the city. It's a really nice one to kind of have in the car on your, I just actually have those old Christmas trees that we used to have like years ago. And I just put my oil straight on there and it's always hanging, and I use it as my diffuser in the car. It's perfect. uh, Maybe I'm a little bit cheap, but those things run out of smell, and then you can make a new one every day. I used to do it even with my kids getting out of getting into the car from school, right? They'd be all kind of like, and I just have balance on my little diffuser, and they'd be happy by the time we get home. But I do love a bath with some balance. It's a really great way to kind of relax. That hoe wood and the osmanthus, you can't get that in any other oil. We can't get spruce on its own. So balance is pretty magical. It's something that you couldn't necessarily make on your own. It's its own proprietary, unique, complete, amazing blend. And as I mentioned, putting it together with Serenity, that is something that I have found, like for ADHD, for those brains that just can't stop, those nonlinear thinkers, those kids that need to touch everything. This is beautiful. You want to put this on their feet before bed in a diffuser. If you're an adult with the ADHD tendencies where you know what's that laundry? Oh, the cupboard doors are open. Oh, I'm brushing my teeth. Oh, laundry, like it's Serenity and balance was my savior. I put it in a roller ball together, actually, and those two are absolutely amazing. But this one I use at bedtime for people that have trouble sleeping. This is the first thing I tell them to do. I love making a bed, like a mist for my linens. I just mix water, distilled water, and some Serenity in there, about 25 drops in a small bottle. I just mist my pillows and my sheets before we go to bed, and it just really helps to kind of unwind. You can put it on the spine, have a nice bath with it, put a little balance and Serenity in your bath. Just have it in the diffuser at night before you go to bed, and putting it on your neck. I always go for pulse points with these emotions oils. So pulse points, we're talking wrists, just put your roller balls on your wrist, then wipe it on your neck where you'd take your pulse, So this again has that hoe wood that we can't get on our own. And it also has the sandalwood, which we're not able to get on our own either. So we should enjoy Serenity because I'm hoping it's not going to change. But the Roman chamomile in it actually helps the nerves to calm down. The ylang ylang will help hormones to sort of balance. The marjoram is going to cause the pain to sort of get lifted. The cedarwood and lavender are going to shut the brain off. Like, it's just a beautiful oil. So I always make stuff with it for my DIYs, for my bath salts for Christmas, and that Serenity is a gorgeous one. Now, I had to throw this one in here because it's truly one of my favorites. Citrus Bliss is literally citrus bliss. It is so sweet and so yummy and delicious smelling. I make all sorts of sugar scrubs with this. I do all sorts of DIYs with it. I make like aromatherapy dough with this one because it makes kids really happy. Just putting it on your wrist is a really nice perfume. And this one and Cheer that we'll talk about in a little bit, they smell different on everybody. So it's gorgeous. And the other thing I love this for is my dryer balls. So when I give dryer balls to people that I make, I give them a little bottle of the Citrus Bliss so that you can actually put it right on your dryer balls and stick it in the dryer, and it smells like Citrus Bliss. So you get your mandarin and your tangerine and your bergamot and your grapefruit, and then you get that clementine and vanilla bean. So it's got that sweetness. Absolutely gorgeous. Now for emotions, I have to definitely talk about oh yes, the Restful Blend. What it'll do is it'll say something different if you ordered it from Canada versus ordering it from the US. So on the Canadian one, I think it says the Restful Blend, and on the US one, it doesn't. It just says Serenity. And it's just the labeling. Same thing with like Easy Air and Breathe. They just call them different things.
Okay, I just want to ask you, I bought my Serenity a long time ago I always buy from Canada website.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say Restful Blend.
No.
They changed
They probably did. They have to do it for French. So they may have only been able to put the Serenity on and not actually have the French part on the label. That's what.
But they wouldn't have changed the fact that it's got vetiver in it or any of the other ingredients?
That one doesn't have vetiver in it, but it has the cedar wood in it and the hoe wood.
Which one?
Serenity.
Oh, that's not the Restful Blend.
Are you thinking of the capsules?
No.
Okay.
I'm just talking about my bottle of Serenity.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know. Okay. Unless anyone knows, throw it in the chat. Not that I'm aware of, unless it has changed over the years. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah. So the Adaptive is kind of made to be a bit of a spa in a bottle. When we talk about the brain sort of being overloaded, this causes overwhelm, which causes anxiety, which causes unwell feelings. And this is where this whole line comes into play. It comes in the oil, which you're just going to use topically or in the diffuser. It comes in the roller ball, which of course you're just going to use topically. And then it comes in the capsule. Now I find the rollerball or the oil, they're just velvety. They work instantly. You take a couple drops in your hand, rub it, and just cup and inhale. Same thing with the Balance, the Serenity. You can do that cup and inhale with almost any of these oils. In fact, all of them. And the capsules are made as kind of like a little bit of a 2.0. If stress is going to be really big that day, if you have lots going on, if you're already feeling it before you've even left the house, try and take an Adaptive capsule. If you need to, you can end up taking one during the day, and then you can take one during the night. It causes a clarity without the tiredness. So it calms you, but it doesn't knock you out. It just literally helps it's like Adaptive is actually the adaptogenic herbs that they have figured out that really help to sort of calm the whole mind, to calm the nervous system. And this helps by producing GABA in the brain, which this actual line does. So it's actually going to help to keep that GABA in the brain, because we produce it, but it gets shot out as soon as we have a stressor. So this actually allows it to build up a bit, and it really makes a big difference for people. I've had people use this for so many things, whether it was prophylactically using one every day just to kind of keep on the calm, or if it was just to be used kind of like, I feel my heart kind of racing, I feel things kind of getting out of hand, the oil isn't cutting it, I'm just going to take a capsule. It's always there. It actually has helped more people than I can even sort of recollect right now. It's probably the one that I find the biggest difference with people, mood wise, stress wise. It's just kind of their go-to. So if you haven't tried it yet, absolutely give it a shot. Now, our moods can definitely directly be influenced by aromas. So spices are really renewing. They'll help you kind of keep that curiosity going. So if you're an anger person, these are really good. Tea tree oils are grounding and balancing, so it'll just keep you calm. Not tree oils. So you're talking about your firs, your birches, your spruces, copibas. Those are really good trees. Herbs, of course, you're thinking of comforting, soothing, so your rosemary, basil, things like that. Mints are usually energizing and uplifting, but they can also be calming. So when you look at wintergreen, it has a calming effect, but the peppermint can really sort of pep you up. So you want to be cautious of that at night sometimes. Citruses, oils are all really uplifting, really revitalizing. They just make you happy. Citrus oils are just those oils that are just happy oils. No matter what, you smell lemon, you kind of really, it feels clean and fresh, and they're just awesome. Florals are always going to give you that calming, that reassurance, that healing. So I think of things like rose. There's almost nothing that rose won't fix. So when we look at our emotions wheel, I know we have shown this before, so I will just let you guys have a quick look through that. We have this emotions kit that I'm going to go through quickly. And if you didn't ever know when to use it or how, take a screenshot of this, because the passion is really, it's spicy, but it's herby, but it's also got some of the floral because it's got rose. So this is just kind of like a generalized wheel. If you really had no idea where to start and you're like, some of those emotions I don't want are like insecurity and anxiousness. So I might look at things like wintergreen, or I might look at the peace oil or the motivate oil. It's up in that top left-hand corner. So kind of gives you, just some sort of quick references as far as noticing what would work for you. And as you see, they have the little letters beside them, and all of these are meant to be used aromatically, topically, and they are good for sensitive skin. They're diluted already, so they're basically ready to go. Now, those oils that I was talking about, so our Motivate, they have a few different a couple of different options. One of them is the rollerball options, and the other one is the small 5 ml bottles. So we call the Motivate our encouraging blend. It has a bit of a spicy, earthy kind of tone to it, but it's a beautiful oil. I found if kids are a little bit anxious about school or kind of need some courage, if they have some tough stuff going up or even a test, this is something that I have used on my kids just to literally get them out the door in the morning. It's also something I've used on myself to get my butt out of the door in the morning, and is definitely one of my go-tos. Now, if you want to have it in a diffuser where you're, got some cleaning to do or got some paperwork to hit and you're just feeling distracted, this is something that will actually kind of help you to sort of get those thoughts all filed away and get things done. So a diffuser blend that I like using is Motivate. So 3 drops of the Motivate and 1 drop of the peppermint. The other one is 3 drops of the Motivate, and 2 drops of the Citrus Bliss. So not only are you going to be super happy, it's going to smell beyond yummy in there, and you're just going to be rocking and rolling. You're going to be ready to hit the ground running. Now, these oils, again, you can use in the diffuser, and you can also use them straight up on your skin. Now, the cheer, it almost reminds me of Fruit Loops. It's just so beautiful, and it smells completely different on everybody. So I always encourage women to use this as a perfume, because it'll bring out some of the floral fragrances on some people, some of the more fruity fragrances. I put it on myself, and another friend, and we smell completely different with the exact same bottle of oil on. It's so neat. Everything just mixes with your body's chemistry, right? So this one is obviously for energizing, really just creating a positive environment. If there's some seniors that need some laughs, this oil just gets them feeling good. I always brought it to my seniors yoga sessions that I would go and do when I was off and I was healing. I'd bring my cheer in there, and once I had spilt it on the carpet, and I got so many comments by the nurses and everybody how they were just like, they love that floor. They were hanging out there all day long because that lobby just smelled amazing. So try a couple drops of cheer and a drop of motivate in your diffuser, or try a few drops of cheer and 2 drops of the citrus bliss. I haven't tried that, to be honest, but I think it would be absolutely, I might just want to eat it. Okay, passion. Now, passion is a really cool oil because it does have the rose in it, and it is a nice sort of spicy, another delicious oil. One of the things that I have found, this actually really helps joints. So for things like trigger thumb and problems in the hands, I like using a drop of the passion in my hand lotion because it actually has really sort of helped my hands to not be stiff. And literally, I feel like it's almost healed up my trigger thumb. One of our friends had told me to do that, and I was amazed. Like, it was the best, even better than like the deep blue or anything. It was really neat. So this is something that if you've just kind of, you have to get back to a job, or you have to try and sort of figure stuff out, or you have to just kind of try and have fun when you got too much weighting on you, this is a really great oil to use. So this is something that's going to make you feel comfortable. It's going to make you feel inspired. It's going to be a good oil for writing or for playing guitar or painting, or maybe doing something that you love. And then once you use it while you're doing something that you love, if you use it while you're doing something that you maybe don't love so much, it actually kind of helps you to be able to love it a little bit more because you've already got the chemicals going for the things that you love. It's kind of neat that we only need to do it a few times for it to set a new point in our mindset. So passion fruit is 3 drops of grapefruit with 2 drops of passion. And passion potion would be 3 drops of console and 2 drops of cinnamon. I think it's supposed to be passion, 3 drops of passion and 2 drops of cinnamon. So I'll have to fix that typo. The cinnamon is already in the passion, but with a little bit more cinnamon, it's going to be almost like a more romantic oil. You can kind of get that one burning near the evening, or maybe if you're trying to inspire your other half to be a little bit more passionate, or a little more inspired, or a little bit more creative, or you can definitely use this oil. It's an awesome one. It smells so good. Now, peace is something that I have used with my kids a lot as well. I've also used it for people with things like restless leg and things that kind of, it's the nervous system that acts up. This is a beautiful one for going to bed at night. It's also just a really calming one. So if you have someone in your life, or you are someone who feels anxious often, this is a gorgeous one to just kind of have in the background, especially when you get overwhelmed. I love this one for that overwhelmed feeling. It just calms you. It's beautiful. So again, you're going to take a drop and just kind of cup and inhale. You can diffuse. You can end up putting it in lotions. Put it on the bottoms of your feet or on your spine. And in the diffuser, you are going to use 2 drops of peace and 1 of rosemary. Now, this will actually help you to think better. So if you have a foggy brain, try a couple drops of peace and 1 of rosemary in your diffuser, and you'll score better, I promise. And then for sleep, if you put 2 drops of the peace with 4 drops of lavender, that is one of the things, especially if you don't have serenity and you happen to have the peace around, with a little bit of lavender, you have some sound sleep coming, and possibly even a better day the next day too. So forgive, it's a nice woody, it's a woody smell. It's very earthy. It's very grounding. It allows you to kind of move through some emotions. So the next couple oils are sort of for the tougher emotions, those ones that maybe we even have to forgive ourselves. Maybe we have some some things that we're working through. Maybe we're doing some self-work. This forgive oil is amazing. It's a really good one for meditating. It's a really good one for literally, if you kind of feel like you can just maybe relax for a little while, this is a good one. It's going to let your mind unwind, and things that are going to come up are going to be able to come up with ease, and they're going to be able to move through rather than kind of getting stuck in the system. So for anger, one of the ones that we recommend is 2 drops of forgive and 3 of balance in the diffuser. So test it if you have an angry person in your house and see how it goes. And then there's the let it go. So I love this one for meditation. 2 drops of the forgive and 3 of lime. It brings you to Mexico instantly. And it may be because of the tequila, but that's besides the point. All right, so console. Now, for my friends that have lost people, for myself, even going through losing people, whether it be in this realm or just going through friendships that have broken up that you really didn't expect, or arguments to be happening that you never had ever imagined. This one is to help you actually through that emotional healing. So we need to be able to not only experience the emotions that we have, but to be able to move through them a little bit. And this is a really great one. So a lot of cupping and inhaling with this. I have them take really deep breaths and just literally allow them to cup and inhale, wipe it on the backs of their necks, kind of wipe it in the hair, wear it on a diffuser pendant so that it's always with them. It's kind of like a hug. And I usually, when I give this to them, I give them a hug too. And it ends up just sort of taking 2 for 1 right there. It's funny, this diffuser blend is need a hug. So that's 3 drops of balance and 2 of console. And for healing, you're going to try elevation with console. Now, elevation has been discontinued, so it's something that we can no longer get. But if you can use the forgive instead of the elevation, or the motivate instead of the elevation, you will definitely enjoy those. It's a beautiful substitute. So this is what the whole kit looks like. You can get this really beautiful little box with this emotional aromatherapy kit. This will allow you to be able to move through any emotions. This is something that I send people a lot, this kit or the roller kit. People that I really love, I'll literally just go into my back office and I'll put their shipping address in, and I'll use my points to send them these emotional kits, because, or even just one of the emotional rollers, because the amount of things that they can sort of move through and work with in just having these 6 oils in front of them is mind-blowing. It's like a whole bunch of therapy all in once. So now take a screenshot of this, because this is kind of like a cheat sheet. This is, any emotion. These are the main emotions that we don't want to experience, that we tend to. And these are literally the oils that are recommended for them. So there's a lot of oils here, a lot of oils, but you can see there are patterns, like with the worry, it's more the wood, the healing oils, the vetiver root oils, if you're not feeling inspired, the patchouli, the grounding, the floral of the geranium. It's just, there's a nice mix of sort of different ideas that we didn't go over today that you can take stock of. I'm hoping everybody got a chance to take a little screenshot of that. Now, these are some oils. Basically, we're kind of getting from, I'm feeling okay to like, no, things are pretty heavy. And so, as I mentioned, the cheer, the bergamot, the lemon, all the citrus oils, those are just, going to make you happy, going to make you feel kind of good. If you're feeling like things are just starting to get a little bit tough, that's when you're going to go for your balance. Maybe your eucalyptus, kind of opening the lungs, the heart up a little bit. It's a nice soothing smell. It's going to actually help. It's going to help to give you those calming feelings, and the forgive to help you to sort of start moving through those things. Then there's the adaptive, once we have, a bit more of a hard time, and you can go by the colors too, right? The colors really, that's what they mean on the oils. So when you go for them and you're not so sure, if you ever wondered why your oil is blue, or why your oil is purple, or why it was green or yellow, it's basically for this. This is doTERRA's little heart cheat sheet. So the purples are for really strong emotional support. The blues are kind of pretty heavy hitters. Greens, we're starting to get into the big guns, and yellows are the fun, happy ones. So you really can't go wrong. So a few more things about stress management. We all know we need to get more sleep. I don't know, I haven't met anybody yet that gets enough sleep. There's the odd person who's like, yeah, I sleep enough. But even with that, they tend to still feel tired the next day, or, you know, they should feel rested. But, you know, sleep is one of those big things that we need to make sure that sometimes we are getting enough. A lot of times it's just we don't have the amount of hours in a day to get good sleep. And that's something that we need to look at too, right? So getting more sleep, the way we can help this with our essential oils is by using our Serenity, our Adaptive, our Lavender. I like throwing Balance in there. And a really nice one too is Wild Orange for sleep. If you haven't tried before, Wild Orange and Lavender are a beautiful sleep blend. Now, allowing yourself to unplug, that we always say a couple hours before bed if possible, because that light that we are getting into our retinas is actually destroying some of our DNA. And a lot of that damage happens at night after the sun goes down. So, I mean, when we're in Manitoba, this is at like, you know, 5 o'clock, right? So it's hard to get off the screen. There are, you know, blue blocking glasses, there's all sorts of stuff, but literally unplugging from everything, which means your phone, which means our problems, which means pretty much everything. You know, if even for half an hour before your bed, if you could even read a book or just truly meditate, or, you know, if you do have to have the phone by, only have it by for a meditation with the screen turned off so that you can't actually see it. Just literally having no light in your room, having like not even a candle going at night is going to be key in producing enough melatonin to sleep properly. So you really want to make sure it's dark. You want to unplug. You want to make sure you're eating right. We want to make sure we're getting some of our vitamins. I'll go through just a couple of the really main ones, just the really big guns, heavy hitters. But we also need to be moving every day, even if that moving is a little bit of stretching, or if it's just, you know, rolling on a foam roller or throwing a yoga mat down while there's a commercial on, or whatever it is. Being active every day, even a little walk, being outside in nature, doing something is always going to make you feel better. And its studies have shown that that does reduce stress, and it actually helps us balance our moods because we're unloading the gun so that it can't go off if it gets triggered. You know, it's a way of putting that pressure release valve on so that you can actually get a release in ways, chemically, mindfully, every way. Practicing with being active, our deep blue rub, of course, post workouts. And again, it is on special this month, and I am so excited. Now, practice mindfulness. Now, this is something that I love to do, of course. With oils, what I do is I use it when I'm getting people to anchor into a really, really happy thought. So I make them think of like the best case scenario, how they want life to be. What if you know, we're just going to jump to that magic spot where everything is just as you want it to be, like we're Mary Poppins and we just told everything what to do and it's done. And when people can get feeling that good, when they feel, for kids, when they're really motivated, I'm like, think of the last time you won an award. You know, when were you up and everybody was cheering for you? Or when was the last time you were picked first? You know, when they felt really good, that's when you want them to smell an oil. That's going to anchor in a really good, literally a set point in their mind of happiness, of happy chemicals. And so then all they have to do is smell that oil and they're going to get those happy chemicals producing right away. So using the Adaptive for something like that. Arise, our yoga oil. We have the Arise, and there's two more. I have way too much in my brain right now. Align and Affirm, I think it is. And so those are really good for setting in certain intentions. Arbor Vitae is one of those woody oils that's going to help you ground. Same thing with frankincense. It's going to connect you to source right away. So if you want to get into some kind of mindfulness practice before you start meditating, I love pulling out either frankincense, or I use my Easy Air, or I love Arbor Vitae. That's a good one. Smells kind of like the cedar wood, or the Adaptive, right? Or even have it going in your diffuser. Getting more sleep, we talked about, so I think I covered all of those super quick. I'm trying not to go too far over time. So what we know is the body and the mind are connected, right? When we end up having something that's going on in our external life, even if it is our body, it's going to affect our mind. If our mind has too much in it, it's going to affect our body. Think of how we feel when we're all weighed down. Think of how we look when we're all happy. And, it's so reflective and it is so connected. And that nervous system that we have is basically running everything because it's what's telling the brain what's going on. And so now we can help tell our brain what's going on. Instead of it just kind of running on autopilot all the time, we can give it these tools to help it actually process these emotions and these feelings and help us, right? So what do we do when we find ourselves under a lot of stress? Because what we do is we have tension, something's hot where it's going to want to go cold. Something stressful, we want it to relax. Something's fast, we want it to slow down. So what do you guys, what do you usually end up sort of falling aside? Do you see any of these things that maybe end up kind of in your life that you don't necessarily want to have? And can you think of some oils that may actually help you? Yes, Miss Tanya.
Poor sleep.
Poor sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the oils are working.
Have you tried the Serenity Complex?
Yeah, I have it.
So I have someone taking those are the capsules, yeah. So I have someone taking 2 capsules a night with a little bit of the Serenity on their feet and a little bit of vetiver on their pulse points and in the diffuser. And every night has gradually gone up an hour or 2 of sleep, and they're doing better and better. It's kind of, it's a really good protocol, and it really, like, sometimes you just have to take 2 of those things. And there may be some of those other things that I talked about. Maybe there's a little light that's stopping the melatonin from producing in your body. Maybe there's some hormonal things that aren't allowing that to happen at night. And really look at how much screen time, how much of the lights are on at night. You can start shifting to candlelight, to salt lamps, just having less and less of the high grade electronics that are sort of inundating us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything? Have any questions about anything at this point? I've been kind of racing through. You're good?
I have a quick question about what is the best one oil for anger or rage? Like
So
one oil, either an oil or a blend that you could recommend.
That's a good one. When we have that anger or rage, we sort of tend to go to our forgive. I feel like forgive is the first one that sort of pops into my head for that particular feeling, honestly. It's a really good one because it comes from somewhere, right? It usually has many triggers, that anger.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
And then what about depression or low mood?
That's adaptive. That's where adaptive will make a big difference. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I should use my well, I've actually used it almost all up, so maybe I need to get some more.
Good for you. Yeah, good for
Thanks.
you. And the capsules can really make a big difference too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
one with GABA in it, right?
It is. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to try that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And I don't know if you guys have tried past tense, but man, for headaches, this is our kind of like our migraine tension blend. It is incredible, and it feels so good once you put it on the back of your neck, especially like after a shower. It's really intense. It has that marjoram and the wintergreen and the Roman chamomile again for nerve. And the other thing this works amazing for is truly is that restless leg syndrome. If people have really antsy legs at night, or your body doesn't want to rest as you're going to sleep, I love past tense for that. It is so nice. I just put it on the feet and the low back. It's really good for grounding you. It's really good for kind of taking you out of those anxious moments. So that's a really nice one to have. It, and my favorite thing to do with it is just roll it on the shoulders, kind of roll it right in this area and just up the back of the neck. And it's just, oh, it's heavenly. We don't go far without our past tense. It's always, always in the house. Now, with Digest Zen or Zengest, I had to have this one in here because people get things like abdominal migraines too. They get so stressed that their gut is what actually sets them off, right? Or their gut is what sort of holds all their tension. So you see that a lot with people, they'll hold their guts when they're feeling a little bit off, or they'll start to feel sick. And a lot of people start to feel like they're going to puke. And so emotionally, when people aren't breathing through their belly, when they're having a hard time, even to the point where they're nauseous all the time, or really having trouble with digestion, this is something that is really going to help them. So I just take a couple drops, rub it around the belly button, like, around the tummy, up on the right, down on the left, and circular motions, just making a clockwise, circle, just even drinking a drop before they end up, pardon me, having something to eat. It's absolutely amazing. And it can also help the head to clear a little bit. If you use this over your hands, over your mouth with your hands, cupping and inhaling, it's going to help to get mucus. It's going to get sinuses to release. So even for people that are, experiencing mucus or heaviness after sort of post all these sicknesses going around, you know what I'm talking about, and there's still lots of sinus and phlegm, the Zengest is amazing. And of course, for immunity and for protection. Now, I use this oil and the Kids Stronger for sort of boundary work more than anything. So before I go out into public, just because I'm so sensitive to energy, I put this on my feet, not only for immunity, but actually for protection in my energy field. So my energy field needs to be strong because I'm sometimes doing groups with 30 or 40 people, and I'm working with all of their energy fields at once. And we're doing energy chakra balancing and like big stuff. So I actually feel it in my body, and I need to be able to protect myself. So this is one of the ones I almost always have going in my diffuser in our house pretty much all the time because my kids are really sensitive too. Again, you can use this as a cleaner. You can use it as a snack, mix it with some maple syrup and soak some apples in it and dehydrate them, or throw it in some popcorn and mix that up. It's so good. But this is going to end up helping circulation. It's going to energize you, and it's going to boost your immune system, and it's going to give you that sort of protection. So if you're a sensitive person, definitely think about putting on guard on before you go out. Now, as I was talking about our vitamins and minerals and all the nutrients we need, this is all in one. This has everything that we need. This has everything that you would imagine. It has all of your sort of there's greens in there, there's oils in there, there's all of the herbs that you would need, all of the vitamins that you would need. You don't have to worry about anything, all the omegas for every single system. Our Lifelong Vitality vitamin pack is just it's really the bomb. It has absolutely everything you need. There's 8 servings of fruits and vegetables in them. Everything is just literally all there. The only thing that you may want to supplement with is a little bit of extra vitamin D, because we live in the tundra. We don't get a lot of sun exposure. We don't get a lot of the natural effects of the sun, and a lot of the natural vitamin D that we should be getting, we are just not able to absorb. So the vitamin D supplementation, there are a lot of people that will have up to 3,000 to 5,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. And when you're taking the LLV, you only get about 2,000 IUs. So you may want to up that a little bit. For some people, that's more than enough. If you've been tested to be low on vitamin D, definitely something that you might want to just kind of add in extra. So that was emotions in like as little minutes as I could do. I have a few minutes to ask if you guys have any questions at all. I'm just going to rip through the ways you can get your oils super quickly here, because you may just be wanting these oils and don't have them yet, and we don't want to stop you from that. So there are a few ways to buy. There is just going on a friend's site and buying retail. That is the most expensive way. So we don't really necessarily want you to do that. We'd rather you get the wholesale price. Just like at Costco, you get a membership card, it's $42, and you can literally buy anything that you want at our cost, which is 25% below retail. And then we have an extra step where you can actually get even more points. You can get free oils every month. You can get all sorts of good stuff. You get your shipping back. And that's super easy to get set up on as well. So whoever invited you here tonight, please let them know that we need to get you some of these emotional aromatherapy oils as soon as possible. Like I said, we have the little kit in the 5 ml bottles, and we also have the touch rollers. So these are literally just ready to go. You just unscrew the top and roll on. You don't have to think about a thing. I also use these for the cupping and inhaling, where I just roll it up and down my hand and then rub my hands together and cup and inhale. And if you guys didn't know about these little mood kits, mood and calm kits, they are so cool. You get them for like $79, and you can get, there's 3 different ones in the States, or there's one that you can get in Canada, and that's this one. And it has the adaptive oil, a serenity spray, the linen spray I was talking about, an adaptive linen spray or room spray, a lavender touch roll-on, a balance deodorant, a balance oil, and a cedarwood oil. And you get it in that beautiful little bag that is perfect for carrying your oils around in. So it's things that you can't usually get, like you can't just get that cute itty bitty little deodorant unless you order one of these little kits. And it is really affordable. They have them in the immunity and the what is the other one, a pain and that kind of stuff too. There's all sorts of these little kits, so definitely check them out if you guys haven't seen them yet, because they are really cute and you get to sort of try different things. So it's a nice way to get a good deal on some of the oils. And when you order one of those, they also give you a chance to get a diffuser or a whole bunch of other things on sale for 20% off. So you can get the Melissa at 20% off, oregano, Easy Air, copaiba, lemongrass, aromatouch, wintergreen, serenity, adaptive, the whole aromatics touch collection. You get 20% off of that. So there's definitely, so when you're in there, it's kind of like if you order your vitamins, you can go and add on things. This is basically, you can order your little wellness kit and you can add on any of these things that you want as well for a discounted price. So it's kind of cool. And if you don't have oils, but the aromatherapy essentials kit isn't maybe necessarily the one you want to do a few more things with, say, something like frankincense and lavender and tea tree oil and the digest one. And so this has a little diffuser and it has the 5 ml bottles. It's absolutely beautiful. It's only $1.95, so it's very, very affordable. Has our deep blue oil in there, which is so good for muscles and joints. Has the On Guard we were talking about for protection, the balance. It's so many good oils. The peppermint, there's lemon in there for cleanings. I love that kit. And then there is another one that actually has the vitamins, the lavender, tangerine, balance, On Guard, frankincense. You get a whole bunch of oils in there as well. And the deep blue cream. So that's a beautiful enrollment kit. And it's only $2.50. So it's actually not that crazy either. And the Terrazyme, get your digestive enzyme in there. So if you guys have anybody that enrolls, or if you've invited anybody that enrolls, let us know, because we definitely want to make sure you get a free gift. So if you ever, say bring a friend to a class, invite someone that wants to come, we will make sure that you get a free gift. And if you are interested in actually having a class and you have a few friends that you think they would enjoy the pets class, or you wanted to do the emotions class with them, and you wanted Rosetta or I to just be able to kind of show up and, have the class, and then we have, a little bit of chat time. We can talk about whatever you want. It's a really fun way to have an evening with friends. We get a glass of wine, we learn a lot, you get free stuff. If the hostess is going to have a party, we're going to give you some free stuff as well as a hostess for a class. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to literally invite them. You don't have to supply anything because it's all online. And we just make sure that you guys get some goodies for the class. So it's awesome. And that you have some free stuff too. So I would love to hear if anybody has any questions. Or anything that you would like to share. I'm just going to stop sharing for a quick moment and make sure I double check on the chat here. Awesome. I think we got to those questions. Did anybody have any questions while you had me on here before I let you guys go?
You've covered it all. Yeah. Awesome presentation.
Hopefully it's a little clearer than mud.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like about the emotions kit though, right? It's so easy. Like it says
Yeah.
exactly what it's supposed to do. And they're just so easy to grab. You know what, I buy the kits all the time and I give the things away when I'm running into the people that need a little bit of something. And it just like that makes me happy to be able to share
Isn't it?
those things, right? Until I go to look for it and I don't have it. And I'm like, dang it, I gave it away.
Try and get it back. I totally agree. Yeah.
I love it. Yes, Tonya.
I have another question about anxiety.
Yes.
Which one of these oils or blends would you recommend for the
So-
anxiety?
See, anxiety tends to be from overwhelm or being fearful of the future, right? So we want something that's going to be hopeful. So the motivate is as though, I guess, if you need to sort of be out around people and you kind of need to be able to ground but focus, motivate is kind of a good one that's going
Not the
to
one with orange and peppermint?
yeah.
I have it. I use that
Okay.
for when I'm in the morning, I like to do my yoga or Pilates. And
Okay.
I really like it to, I don't know, I just like smelling it while I'm exercising in yoga and Pilates. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
also,
absolutely, right?
what about at nighttime for anxiety though?
So that is where, again, I would use your adaptive. Honestly,
Okay.
it's really incredible. And even the Serenity, a lot of people use the Serenity capsules at night for anxiety, not even for sleep. So
Okay.
the Serenity capsules, it sounds almost like you could probably handle, you know, even one an hour before bed, and maybe even, you know, try another one if you're still not sleeping, if you figure that's what is keeping you up. Sometimes there's other things that are keeping us up too, and it takes a little bit of exploring to kind of look at those. You know, do we drink
So-
caffeine before bed? Do we
No,
get outside? Okay, good.
I exercise, I get outside, I eat pretty good. I'm just, I've never really had trouble sleeping. This is kind of new. And
Mm.
actually it was even before the pandemic. It's not really the pandemic, it's family things. And I just can't get out.
I would try Neroli. Neroli's coming up for me for you. I don't know if you have that one.
No,
If
so
it's family stuff, the Neroli is beautiful. Yeah.
early. It's not even family that live with me. It's my biological family.
Mm. Yes. Neroli's good for situations that we basically are going to be in, you know, that we just kind of have to sort of accept, especially when it's in a relationship with people. And we just have to learn to be able to put our heads down and just, you know, go into the fire. And Neroli is really amazing for that.
What does it
allows us-
smell like?
It's very
Beautiful.
floral.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what?
It's floral. Hey, how did you
Oh.
describe it time?
Yeah, I would say floral too.
Yeah.
I put it on my face, under my nose, and I'm in heaven.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
I rub it all around my abdomen, like over my adrenal glands and I go in a big circle all around my body with Neroli.
Yeah, that's a great idea
Oh.
too. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You know what? That's something I haven't tried, and you can only get it, you can't get it in a touch, right? You've got to buy the oil bottle.
It's actually only in the touch bottle, Neroli. It
Oh,
comes in
you-
the roller.
You
Yeah.
do buy it in the touch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
be-
That's
it would
good
ni-
too.
It would be nice to have it in a bottle if we could get it in a.
It's
5
true. It's true. I don't think that one does. I think it only comes in the roller.
Is it a blend?
Yeah, no, it's just neroli on its own.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
And
it's-
I know somebody told me about this before, but I don't know it, right? So when I
Yeah.
don't know it, I don't
Oh, I know.
gravitate. I
Yeah, and
gravitate
we-
towards lavender and orange and like the things I know that I, right?
yeah, and we hear things when we're ready for them too. Like sometimes you might hear it and your conscious field will kind of go, no, I don't need that right now. And it comes back around again. That's kind of how we operate. So I'm just going to stop the recording here. I'm just going to say thank you so much to everybody. If you have to go,
Thank you.
by all means, go